Okay, hello everyone. Um, Welcome to our University Invited Talks. We are excited to have you here. Our speaker is an expert in his field, and today we'll explore his knowledge and ideas. Thank you for joining us, and let's get started and enjoy the talks. So today our speaker is Masaki Itagaki, Director of Technology at One Code Club. Masaki, would you please start?
All right, let me share my screen first. And I also need to share the sound too. So share the whole entire wind and also including sound. Let's see. Okay. Um, do you see my presentation?
Yes, we do.
Cool. Okay, that's good. All right. Thank you, Asia, for setting this up, and thank you all for joining us today. I'm very excited to show you around the Kisco Club internship opportunities, in which I hope you'll be interested eventually. Okay. So I'm going to cover a little bit about situation of Japanese kids and schools because that's a critical background of the business of Kids Code Club and One Code Club. And after touching on some details about the organization, I'm going to go into the details of our internship program that's running for this fall and winter. And if I have some time left, I'm going to show you a quick demo of pieces we built this summer under our internship program, which actually Shingo joined. So you can understand what kind of pieces we are, building throughout the programs. Okay, and then the rest of the time will be spent for the Q&A. Okay. Okay, a little bit about myself, not too much. So before joining Kids Code Club, I was working for Microsoft here. I'm located here in Redmond, and I worked for Microsoft for about 16 years or so. I started as an engineer, linguistic engineer. I built what we call terminology system, which managed all the terms and concepts of all products and services of Microsoft, which is used by many localizers and internationalization engineers, so they can share the correct terms and concept in the system. And unbelievably, the system is still in use. Which is very rare. Usually you build and scrap, right? But that system is still running as far as I know. And before joining Microsoft, I was in Denver. I worked for a couple IT companies. And before that, I was a journalist in Tokyo for 7 years. So I was a journalist and moved to engineering field, which I suspect natural career transition. I suspect. And I have some teaching background, and I got a master's degree at the University of Colorado. Okay, enough about me. All right, let me start with the school situations in Japan, which you might have not known because you may know about Japanese cultures or food, but not much about school situations. So the chart you are looking at here is recently very famous in Japan because that appears in Japanese news many times. These represent the number of dropouts in elementary schools and in middle schools in Japan. So dropouts means they don't go to school, and the number is about 240,000 about 2 years ago. And the number seems to be small when you really look at that number comparing to a whole entire population of first graders to ninth graders. It's only 2%, right? But actually, the number is not really accurate from many reasons, from many aspects. It seems to be very small, and there are so many kids who are kind of forced into school, and they are separated from normal classes, and they just put into the certain classrooms, and they do whatever they do. So physically they are located in school, but they don't count them as truancy, which is not really accurate, right? So for many reasons, the 240K doesn't represent, I don't think, the reality. But anyway, that's only the number available. So I'm going to use this number many times, 240K kids from elementary schools and middle schools who don't go to school. Okay. I tried to find comparative research from US so that you can feel the issue, but I couldn't find it. Okay. But before I talk about the US situation, I just want to touch on why they do not go to school, right? Why kids don't go to school. So this is a research from Japan. They ask around the kids why you don't go to school, right? Simply. So number 1 to number 5 are the reasons. I think you understand those. Like they don't like teachers, they don't like schools, they don't fit themselves into the school systems, they have a problem with friends. It's kind of a common issues, right? um, um, but broadly, the reason why they do not go to school, they cannot go to school, are from their kind of mental issues. Again, because of the school system, because of teachers and friends, they have been mentally distracted, and they cannot go to school. Okay, so mental aspect is a key reason why the kids cannot go to school. And 240,000 kids cannot go to school. It's not from social aspects or, of course, not financial aspects, because schools are free. Okay. So again, like I said, I tried to find the comparative, research. I couldn't find it, but one research I found very interesting. Is there's a research asking parents of kids who are doing homeschooling. Okay, so when I just look at the reasons, again, it's a little bit tricky thing is this research asks parents why they do homeschooling instead of asking kids. But one kind of a surprising, the thing to me was it's a lot of social aspects, right? The schools, violences, the culture stuff, religious aspects of it. Maybe among these 5 reasons, maybe number 4 may include some situation like kids have a problem with teachers and friends. Yeah, maybe, but it's only at 6%, right? Mostly coming from, like, I would say, social aspect. It's not like a mental aspect. I do not say there's always the truancy issues here in the United States too. So I wouldn't say the situation across Japan and the US are quite different. Yeah, there's always mental issues in kids in the states as well. But I found this interesting and the thing. Another difference in terms of schooling. So when you look at the homeschooling in the US, I looked for how much does it cost, right? So homeschooling, I suspect, usually done by parents. So they buy some like teaching kits, or some books, or some guidelines or something. So I don't think that costs much. And then there's one research showed annual cost of homeschooling is around 700 to 1,800. It's pretty reasonable, right? So when you look at the situation in Japan, one thing I want to clarify, there's almost no such a thing like homeschooling. So, which means, for example, parents teach kid, the school stuff. I would say it's very rarely happen because parents has to work. Of course, parents here in the United States also has to work, but in Japan, and they have to work. So I think I can say it's almost impossible for parents to do the homeschooling at home. Of course, there's a couple. There's certain number of families who does homeschooling here, like here, but most of them they cannot. So we have a system or like private schools called free schools, but free schools are not free. Financially free. Free means kids can do anything at that school. Okay, it's not about the money. It's about activities, right? So private sectors like a one-man shop or one big organization could be big organization provide that free schooling service in which the kids go to that facilities instead of schools. Okay, so they for those who cannot go to school, they just find up some free schools nearby and during the day they just go there and they can do whatever they want. But the cost is just so expensive. I just convert their annual cost to US dollars 2,800, which seems to be for you reasonable. But $2,800 is based on the current dollar yen ratio, which Japanese yen is pretty depreciated, right? So this cost is actually huge. It looks like $5,000, okay, annually. It's very expensive. So I don't have a statistics of how many kids are going to this in free schools. There's no such public numbers, but I found some experts to predict it's probably less than 3% of those 240,000 kids who don't go to school can afford the free schooling. Okay, so this is not a good option even for them. So if they do not go to school and if they cannot go to free schools, the question here is where are they? 240,000 kids who don't go to school, right? Where do they go? And where are they? Um, of course, quite a big portion of them are stayed at home and without doing anything. But this is one aspect where they need some solution. They need to find a place other than family and schools, which is third place. And this is known as kind of right now national issue, and national governments are vigorously working on this issue. Okay. Now it's a good time. So that's a social background, and now it's a good time to talk about Kids Code Club and how we handle that issue from outside. So Kids Code Club is the third place. So we offer opportunities to any kids to learn digital creations like programming and digital art stuff. And we try to accommodate basically any kids. It's not just a type of kids. So kids could be in situation of poverty, financial situations, issues, excuse me, and they may have some family issues, of course. They may have some mental aspects like ADHD and ASD. And also, even though they are not clearly diagnosed as ADHD or ASD, there's lots of mental issues because of their strong characters. They cannot get along with other kids or schools and teachers, which we call gray zone. And they are typically the kids who struggle with going to the school and just ended up with dropouts. Okay, right. So what do we do? What does Kids Code Club do? So mainly we provide online metaverse space where kids can get together every Tuesday and Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. 1 hour every Tuesday and Friday. This event is called After School Programming Club because we say that in Japanese, Hokago Programming Club, which is shortened as HOPRO. So let's for now, let's just call it as a HOPRO. Sounds like English, but no, it's in Japanese, HOPRO. Okay. So we provide these whole pro events 1 hour every Tuesday and Friday, and kids get together. Probably like a 50 to 70 kids at one time. Sign into the system from all over the Japan, and then we provide tutorial, which is called recipe. Okay, recipe is a tutorial. We have this is kind of our own jargon. So programming recipe, programming tutorial. We provide a tutorial to participants, and then they work on it. And now we have more than 150 recipes, tutorials. Sometimes we reuse the old ones. Sometimes we create the new ones. But right now it's over 150 tutorials, and we open up to public. It's all free. Okay, of course, this online event is free. We provide the tutorials for free, even though they are not coming to the HoPro. Okay. And then one more thing we do is PC and Wi-Fi rental for free. So for those who cannot afford a PC, there are lots of parents and kids who cannot afford PCs, but they just want to learn, programming, right? So we try to solve the situation, and provide a PC and Wi-Fi for free as a rental. We have more than 35 units already. It's only you may think it's only 35, but it requires, of course, hardware cost and also support cost. So based on the limited funding, we have been able to rent up to like 36 or 37 units so far. Of course, we are trying to getting more money to provide more, PC for those who cannot afford a PC to participate this event. Okay, so those are the kind of offerings we have. And one thing I want to note here is HoPro is not really like a programming school. This is what we call ourselves. HoPro is a programming school that doesn't teach how to program. We don't teach kids how to program. Of course, they ask questions, we answer that, of course, right? But our focus is not really instructing or teaching. We focus on fostering peer learning. Okay, so peer learning means peer learning, but the key point here is we are trying to achieve the peer learning through programming. So the why we pick up, by the way, why we pick up this programming? We could do like, I don't know, crafting, art stuff or sports, right? But the reason why we focus on the programming and digital creation, as you know, programming is something you will be able to do eventually if you spend the time, right? There's no such a thing like nobody should say, I cannot do programming, right? Because you cannot do programming, you haven't spent enough time, right? After a while, when you do stuff and you try to learn by yourself, eventually you'll be able to do programming. It's just a matter of time. So which means the earlier, if you start earlier, you can be better early, right? So it's pretty common in HOPRO, for example, like a third grade kid teaches how to do stuff to like seventh graders. Okay, so like middle school boys come in and they ask a question. Oh, I cannot find out how to do this, how to sort this out, and a third grader just pop up say, hey, this is what you should do, right? It never ever happens in school because like fifth graders are meant to be smarter than fourth graders, right? Sixth graders are smarter than the fifth graders because it's a school learning stuff, right? It's very rare that reversed learning happens, but in programming it happens quite often. So a lot of kids find this really fresh and new, uh, and some kids find out they just cannot, they have never found any opportunity where they could just teach things, right? um it's not even teaching, not even the peer programming, peer learning. Some kids have never been said thank you, which is actually astonishing, by the way. I know one case, one girl, for the first time, she joined the whole pro. And after the session, the first session, the parents just, contact us and just share this information. The girl, after the session, the girl kept on saying, I was told thank you, and grinning, smiling for the like an hour or so. And the parents never saw her like that. And what happened was she was so shy and she didn't share the screen. She didn't even say in the microphone on. She just she stayed quiet, right? She didn't do anything. She was kind of scared because it was first time, right? And one of the crews, volunteer crews, just told her, thank you for coming. So by chat typing, of course, with her name. So like if her name was Lisa, Lisa, thank you very much for coming. So she was, I think it was the first time somebody told her with her name, thank you very much, right? So even that small thing can happen in this event. So I think it's a good source for them to regain self-confidence, self-esteem, which sometimes hard to happen at school, for example. So I think it's value of a whole pro event, and that's the reason why many kids continuously come to this event. Okay. So beneficiaries. So what's our impact as a Kids Go to Club? So I pick up some numbers. So when you count the number of unique users of this recipe tutorial web system, accumulatively over 670,000 users, unique users, and which is growing. I think it's by now it's over 700K. And many schools in I think programming, the schools, private programming schools are using our materials because we open up for free, right? Um, so usage is really high, and daily active users right now is over 2,000. It's huge usage, huge visibilities. And the number of kids who participated in our events, including HoPro and other special events, over 13,000. I think this is right now is much more than this one. So the impact from these numbers sounds like really huge, right? But the size of our organization that supports that business and the process is really small. So when you look at the core stuff, the full-time core, core stuff is only five directors, including me, and one of them is part-time, by the way. Okay, and then we have a total of like 9 pro bonos. Pro bonos is our professional volunteers who are supporting like not just programming but also like accounting and the marketing, so utilizing their special knowledge, right? We have like a 9 to 10 pro bonos right now. I think we have 3 of them are actively working on some project, and we have over 20 volunteers uh, who we call them as volunteer crews. Crews helping us to just manage the whole pro every Tuesday and Friday. That's how they main work. So we have more than 20 people of those, but still the size of the organization is very small, right? But the impact we provide is relatively huge. So to make that happen with limited number of staff and the maximum scale of the impact, so we do a lot of we provide a lot, we do a lot of technology solutions. So let me talk about R&D project inside Kids Code Club. So recipe system, it's a web system. So when you go to https slash kidscs.org. It's kind of a weird URL. C2 means code club. There are two C's. That's why C2. So hope you can remember that. So kidsc2.org. So that's a recipe website where, like I said, over 150 tutors are there. So this is built on top of Laravel PHP with MySQL backend and running on AWS. This website is hooked to the Google Analytics, and then we also extract all the usage information into Google BigQuery, and we analyze the usage of the recipe system, and we find out some, we extract some insights to feed that back to the new features in the recipe system. So there's a feedback loop system happening here. And toward the next year, we are building a new system to manage the whole pro activities itself, which is very close to learning management system. So that's why internally we call this LMS version 2, which is going to manage many, features that supports the whole pro, which we are still designing right now. I'm going to show you some detail of schedule for this system. But this is a new web system which is built on top of Next.js. Again, the backend MySQL and running on AWS. Okay. So those are the system technical pieces that we provide, we build by ourselves. And schedule-wise, let me touch on that here. We continuously work on data science stuff. So we nothing stops us to do this data science at any time. We extract the data and find out some insights, and we think about should we do this, should we do that, and just add those features. It's just continuously happening, and eventually that goes into the Laravel PHP system. Okay, and Next.js learning management system is new, and we are going to do final requirement gathering and designing stuff by the end of December. And then we are we are finalizing the first version, which means 2.0 feature list. And that we try to turn them into the specific tasks, which you may be able to sign up starting from January. Okay, and we are going to release the first kind of vanilla version of this LMS 2.0 sometime in March. Okay. Now let's talk about internship. How do we handle those technical issues through this internship program? Before that, you may wonder, I talk about Kids Code Club, but I also mentioned about One Code Club. They are similar. Why? Why you're hearing Kids Code Club and One Code Club? So let me explain that the scheme. So basically, Kids Code Club is a main NPO organization that needs technical help, right? So they can ask for help from like Japanese professional volunteers or even student volunteers as well, right? But that's very hard to happen because those professional engineers, first of all, they are pretty busy. They need to make money, right? If we ask them, hey, can you spare some time of you and working on our stuff and help us out? First thing they ask is how much do I make out of that, right? So we don't have money, right? If he could hire a lot of engineers, that solved the whole entire problem. But that's not the reality, right? We don't have money. So what do we do? So this is how I kind of came up with a kind of a new scheme. So I built One Code Club here in the United States to accommodate the US students internship. Okay. And in return for that, I provide real issues and real data, real systems. So real experience. Okay. Unfortunately we are not funded, so that's why we cannot provide paid internship. It's always unpaid internship. But you can just work on this project as a part of your internship credit, and you can just gain real experience, real contribution. Okay. So you can step up to paid internship sometime later. So that's kind of my hope. Okay. Uh, Now, if I have this activities going on where, for example, you guys are, contributing to this project. We have Discord discussion. We have, online discussion. Everything happens in English, of course, right? I won't bring that situation to Japanese folks. Okay, so Japanese engineers, a lot of them are curious about or interested in working outside the country, right? But problem is their communication skill. They are learning English, they're studying English, but they cannot get up to speed where they can actually do the project, right? So I tell them, here's a project, right? You can join us. And you can just test out your communication skills. You can improve your writing skill and communication skill throughout this, leveraging your knowledge, right? And of course, Japanese professional engineers' knowledge is also valuable to you guys, so that you can understand real situation, real workplace, right? So I just want to kind of connect them all together, providing internship opportunities in the U.S. students, providing English communication opportunity for Japanese volunteers, engineers, and the results out of it is beneficial for the Kids Go to Club, and not just the Kids Go to Club, but also any other NPOs. So technically, this can be expanded, extended to just more generic solution for Japanese NPO, but I just need to prove it, right? So that's how I started with the Kids Go to Club. So one thing I just want to note, I need to note is there's a rules in the United States when I provide unpaid internship. Here's the rules provided by Department of Labor. How you establish the process, because I cannot just do the provide a job just unpaid, right? There's certain rules and conditions. If you are interested, you can just go to the DOL website. You can find it easily, especially when you search for the 7-factor test. There is a condition that you have to meet in order for you to provide unpaid internship. So I worked with a lawyer, and then here's our internship scheme. And duration is limited to like 6 to 8 weeks. Um, um, it could be shorter, but I think it's reasonable, 6 to 8 weeks. And everything is done full remote via Discord communication, and also online chat. Is not We don't use Teams, we don't use Zoom. We use virtual space called Ovis, which you never know. Don't worry about it. It's a Japanese metaverse system, which we use for Hopro, but we also use that for our communication too. And we limit to like up to 19 hours per week for your kind of weekly commitment, so that you don't overwork. Okay. And one critical condition is we have to provide the initial training. So we provide 3 to 4 online sessions, and so you to get up to speed, so you can just start contributing the coding stuff and creating stuff for our pieces. And what we expect is just deliver the features. So that's outcome that we expect. Okay, let me just speed up. Just time tickling. So the process wise, first, I would like you to start with self-learning stuff, because we worked on the web system with Next.js, and also BigQuery, which may be specific for you. If you have worked on React, for example, web development with the Next.js is just kind of a very smooth transition. There's not much to learn. But if you have not done any web development, if you have not done any kind of query-based data processing, you have to start with your own learning stuff to get you up to speed. Because we had some folks who didn't do this. Eventually, they couldn't contribute anything at all. They just, for example, one of them just knew HTML and CSS. Fortunately, he couldn't handle the Next.js. And I cannot provide full-blown Next.js training stuff. I provide specifics about our Next.js setup, but I just cannot cover the basics. I don't have the time, right? So I expect if you participate, I expect you to understand at least the basics of web development and data analysis stuff. So with that, I still provide initial training because we have some specific things about our web development and data analysis, which of course we provide. Okay, so that's I usually spend a 3 to 4 2-hour sessions and provide you some basic the things which I'm going to explain in detail in the next slide. And once you are comfortable in working on the project, you are looking through the tasks that we build, and then you sign up. Any of those, just one is fine. Two is better. Three is even better, right? I depends on how much you can do, how much time, and how much passion you can bring. It's totally up to you. But I have a clear list of tasks you can sign up, and then you can just finish it up. And during that course, I will set up a kind of weekly conversation, which I call ship rooms. That's an online conversation. We talk about if you are stuck, if you have a problem, if you cannot just move forward, just talk about problems and unblock yourself, right? So that's a kind of a goal of this weekly session. We don't talk about progress, okay? But we just talk about problems so that you can just move forward, and then eventually you just deliver the feature. And the basic training we provide is, of course, I'm going to show you the code change management through Git. That's a must, right? You have to be able to handle the source code through Git. And also you have to build a local environment from Dockers. So I'm going to give you full-blown training with Git and Docker. And also for the web development, I also provide some information about the front end, back end architectures, and also UI UX the knowledge too. Again, it's not the basics; it's just a specific about our system, how our system is built from the front end perspective and back end perspective in the UI UX. And for the data science side, I'm going to give you the full. This is actually full blown, actually basic of queries, which actually is not a huge. If you have ever worked on the SQL, probably that's okay. If you have never worked on SQL, this might be hard. But if you ever worked on SQL, you have taken the class of a database, that's good enough. But I still give you basics of big queries because it's a little bit specific aspects in big queries comparing to normal SQL. Okay, so those are the basic training. Okay, so with those, if you still not comfortable in like just contributing in the feature creation, probably that might be too much for you. But if you have a basic knowledge of, again, a basic knowledge or basic experience of web development and a data analysis, again, like I said, if you have taken database courses, some statistics courses, or some, web development, like using React, for example, probably that's sufficient. That's sufficient to start with. Okay. So let's see. Let's just quick demo of a summer internship. So this is a video. I cannot do like a real time because it's too much. Okay, so this is a part of the Next.js web system, and I'm going to show you what it is. Okay, but let me explain what you're looking at in the screen. One in the middle, this is Ovis virtual space. So where kids just join as an avatar, and this is like a test space. Okay, so basically every Tuesday and every Friday they just get together and a crew just look around. And if somebody just said, "Hey, I need help," just go there and just help them out. And mainly chat is a key primarily communication. Some kids just open up a microphone open up, the video, but it's kind of distracting sometimes. So they just ask for something starting with chatting, putting text in the chat. So that's run in the middle is a virtual space, and the right side is a chat space. Okay, that's what you usually see in your browser in Hopro. What you see on the left side, which I just show as a cruise phone. So this is the Next.js website, and the crew is looking at the website with their phone. Okay, it looks like kind of another browser things, but this is the screen capture of my actual phone. Okay, so let me start up the. Okay. Okay, this is always space where kids and crews are get together, and this is a chat space. So if somebody wants to say something, they start chat. Okay, so crews and kids are all together. The problem is there are 50 kids are here, right? They're sending a chat, so it's almost impossible to follow all the chat flow. Okay, and that is the problem we are solving here. Okay, this is the solution for that. Before that, when you look at left side, so you just log into the system with ID and a password. Actually, this is Next.js with authentication component called NextAuth. It actually the Shingo worked on this piece. So using a given ID and a password, you just log into this system, and it just goes to this screen called Chat Monitor. And actually, literally, it monitors chat. So if one kid say something, they just type in here. It says hello in Japanese.
こんにちは。
Okay, I hope you heard that. If you didn't hear, it says konnichiwa. It just pronounced that text. So this voice came from phone, not the system, right? Orbis doesn't have any kind of voice system. So when you hold this phone somewhere, you can hear what they type in the chat so that the crew does not have to focus on the chat. Like I said, with the 50 kids, it's just a lot of conversation happens. They cannot really focus on the chat screen because they have to really look around the this virtual space, right? So it becomes hearable, right? Let's just continue. And the first voice was typed by kids. That's why I use we use the kids voice. And now the crew just type in something.
オレンジマスターさん、こんにちは。
Okay, so we change the voice to the adult voice so that people can differentiate if it's a kids or if it's a cruise. Now the kid just type in, I have a question.
質問があります。
Yeah, so that means this requires attention. This is actually the input the cruise has to deal with, right? But again, like flowing, like like a burst, the chat just runs fast. They just miss many communications. But with this voice out and also the visual representation, they can easily understand somebody is asking for help. So we just register those needy words or attention words or phrases so that any text input that requires attention shows this yellow, for example.
そんなアホな。
And also, this one, the reason why it shows red because kids use the bad words. So you can just do some profanity check or offensive words check. If somebody said bad words, you can just also capture that. And if you tell the kids that you should watch your mouth, you can just take a look at it because silently some kids start arguing, right? So you also have to capture that event too. So again, this is a helper function that helps crews to focus on the main activities without really like disturbed by the chat flow. Okay, Actually, lots of technology is used here. This is a webhook event capturing, and also PubSub, event capturing too. There's lots of new technology pieces are used to make it happen. It seems like it's kind of simple feature, but to make this happens in a separate phone is not really straightforward. Okay, so there's lots of technical investigation must happen to just achieve these things. But again, the point here is whatever you do, whatever you provide under this project, there's always reason, there's always issue we want to solve, right? That's what you work on. It's not like, hey, it's cool, why don't we just make it, right? There's no such a thing. There's nice to have. There's no such a thing like nice to have. It's always must to have, and there's always like a reason and a business impact, right? That's what I wanted to show you, and demo is over. Okay, back to the thing, and then this is it. Okay, so finally, I show you the how you can just contact me. You can check out our website, onecodeclub.io, https onecodeclub.io, not .com. It's taken over somebody else, and then you can just send me information by info@onecodeclub.io. Okay, or I also have a Mitagaki at onecodeclub.io, but it might be a little bit harder to remember. But you can always send an email to info@onecodeclub.io because I'm the only one who checked that inbox. Okay. All right, basically that's it. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please feel free to jump onto any questions.
Thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions?
I have some comments. Well,
Yes.
So no, so I've done this. Yeah, I'm lucky. I've done this internship. Was it spring quarter? Last quarter?
Yeah.
Spring quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So if any students have any questions, let me know. I think I could give good words to Masaki because I mean there could be many students who wants to do this and then there's limited positions. So if you could talk to me, if you could work with me for some sort of a club that I'm running, that could be definitely be a help. If you, I don't think you have to know everything. Like you don't have to know every React. You don't have to know every data analysis. If you don't even know anything, if you would have like 5-6 more weeks to learn, if you could find like a 3-hour tutorial videos or something like that on YouTube, and then that could potentially push you to a good spot. So I wouldn't reject yourself. I think you still have time to gain some skills if you don't have at the moment. And then Mr. Itagaki is a very good teacher. He would really teaches you everything, gives you contents. There's no pressure during the internship. In a good way, you could ask anything, even things that you would think it's very simple or dumb. He would walk you through it. So yeah, if you're interested, let me know. Let him know. It's for the good cause. So yeah.
Thanks, Shingo.
Morgan was asking about more than one internship. Can students do more than one internship?
Is that a question to
Or
me?
is that?
I don't know.
That too?
So there was a question in the chat.
Well, the question kind of similar to can I work for 2 companies at the same time? Technically, you can. Recently, it's kind of common, right? But I don't know if you can do. Well, I don't know. It's up to schools. I mean, I don't. You just have to school. If schools can accommodate two internship program under the same one created the coursework, but I don't know what. Again, why I'm answering the question. I'm not from school. I wish you could.
Okay, I have a question. Do interns deal with kids actually?
No, actually, it's only development. You will expose to a lot of information and situation with kids, but you don't talk to kids, you don't deal with kids, but you will understand how kids interact with those systems. And it would be great if you have like a kids experience, because the design also design of the interface like a UI UX also definitely knowledge of case management is a plus. Yeah.
Okay. What about kids? I'm asking as a mother. So if I have like a not Japanese guy,
Mhm.
is he allowed to join the club?
Yeah, so absolutely, yeah. It's again, it's a plus because when you look at the system, you see a lot of Japanese text and
Yes.
graphics, right? No, I don't think it's required, and I will explain. And I think Shingo is also be helpful. We'll support that linguistic aspect. You don't necessarily need to understand the Japanese, and if you find some words you don't understand, just Google it, right? Copy and paste, and Google will translate for you. So again, it's not a required, not even preferred.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any more questions, guys?
I have a question for
Yes.
Shingo. Just wondering, like, what kind of projects you worked on when you were an intern.
Yeah. So as he was showing earlier, I spent a lot of time working on the authorization, user authorization, working with when user logs in. Well, first of all, connecting so there's like an old database that all the data was stored in SQL. So basically, when user logs in, matches that data to the database, and then based on that, based on that, we provide different session to the user, and then based on that session, you will guide them, direct them to a page where you have admin login or not, stuff like that.
Cool.
But like he was, go ahead.
Oh no, I just said that's cool.
Oh yeah. But yeah, like he was saying, like there's training session as well. So we had a brush up on Git, Docker. I could have attended the data analysis session too, but I wasn't working on that project, so I didn't. But really, like I feel like there's so many ways you can contribute, and even you provide your idea, and then that could become your task as well. So I think it's really flexible. It's a good learning opportunity. If you're interested, talk to me.
Well, thank you.
I do have a question for Masaki. I hope I
Yes.
pronounced your name correctly. I'm more interested in volunteering. I do have web development experience, and I think I could be able to contribute. The reason why I'm opting for volunteering versus internship is because I am not ready to commit 19 hours per week. But maybe in, I don't know, I'm guessing 2 to 4 months, I have more, more time to commit. But long-term wise, I'm happy to volunteer to help.
Sounds really great. Yeah, you can just join that initial training sessions. it doesn't matter if it's under an internship program or just a volunteer. That doesn't matter. If you can just register for it, yeah, well, more than welcome to join the initial training session. I give you all the full-blown initial sessions, and you can think about it. You can just take time to just learn a little bit more. When it gets to the point where you can just contribute some of the tasks, you can just jump onto that. I personally do not care if you are working on a project as your internship credit or not. And definitely, if you can just work as a volunteer, definitely, you're more than welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
Okay.
Okay, I think we are done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Masaki. It was really interesting. Thank you for joining, everybody. Have a good evening.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.
Thank you for a
Goodbye.
great talk. Bye.